Hey everybody, I'm Rosalyn Dennett, and welcome to Season 4 of Refocus. Each episode, I'm joined by incredible guests from all areas of the music industry for real and informative conversations with a focus on folk. Hello and welcome to Refocus. Our guest today is Lisa LeBlanc. Not long after earning major praise at the Festival International de la Chanson de Granby, Lisa LeBlanc unveiled her greatly acclaimed self-titled debut album in 2012. She then released Highways, Heartaches, and Time Well Wasted in 2014, followed 2 years later by the Polaris shortlisted Why You Wanna Leave, Runaway Queen. She opted to sing in English on these last two efforts, thus expanding her creative potential and reaching out to new audiences. Those three records sold over 140,000 copies. A few years later, with a new background as a music producer, she returned in 2022 with the highly anticipated Chiac Disco, which garnered critical and public acclaim, as well as another spot on the Polaris Music Prize shortlist and a Juno nomination. The success of the album led to several European tours, as well as a tour of the United States. During the same period, she gave close to 100 concerts across Canada. The renowned Acadian singer-songwriter returned on October 11th, 2024 with Live avec, orchestre symphonique de Québec, an album recorded at the Grand Théâtre de Québec during an extravagant orchestral show. Welcome, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to get to chat with you. You know, it was interesting when I was just reading your bio there. It reminded me, I feel like you were the first, maybe only person I've ever asked for their autograph on an LP before.
When was this? I don't remember this.
I think the year was, I'm going to say 2012.
That is awesome. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's a prized possession in my house,
honored.
in my household. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I love that.
I mean, it's amazing that there's not a lot of folks who can boast like real album sales, you know, and you've been making real albums and real good albums for a long time.
Thank you very much. It's kind of wild, the whole record sales thing on that first album. It was 2012, so I think it was kind of like the tail end of that. It was amazing. I still can't believe it actually happened.
Did you have an affinity for vinyl? Like, are you a record person at all?
Yeah, I love vinyl. I think it's great. I really love discovering new things, and especially like weird compilations from like Salvation Army bins. That's kind of like my favorite kind of vinyl. I love finding like 50 Hawaiian classics on the steel pan.
Yes.
You know, like those are my kind of records. I also like listening to new albums too, but like that's kind of like what I go for vinyl.
That medium speaks to your audience as well because they're buying records. So that's very cool. Does that help? Like career-wise, is that like kind of help keep you guys on the road to be able to keep selling records in a time when a lot of people aren't and just kind of relying on streaming?
I mean, I'm the worst with numbers. I don't even know how many we sold of the last ones in general. I have no clue. I know that merch has been a huge success for us. T-shirts and vinyl has been a big help for the touring. It's kind of wild, actually. Like I saw two grown men fighting over the last album at a show in Ottawa. I was like, what's going on? Am I like the Rolling Stones right now? I felt like a rock. It felt good.
Yeah. Well, you also make good merch. And I wanted to talk to you a bit about your general performance aesthetic has always been like top notch. Like you are in my mind, like the quintessential performer and you like put it all out there, a ton of energy, but whether it's like costumes or bits that you do, like you were putting on a show. What's inspiring you when you're kind of putting together different kind of performance aesthetics for kind of different eras?
I've had different vibes for sure over the years. And I think it's like the last album, Chiac Disco, was kind of a V album where like it was a disco album and funk album. And it was kind of out of this world and silly, quirky, campy. It was really campy. And it was like the perfect opportunity to try lights and costumes and really have fun with it and like dumb choreographies and like always with a touch of humor. Cause I'm not a dancer. Like I feel very folky at heart. and a bit awkward, you know, like, so it kind of helped that whole aesthetic too. But it was really fun to go all out and just go full glam and use the disco aesthetic. And I've always loved everything 60s and 70s as much as the music as the visuals. And it was really the album that I really wanted to be a part of all the visuals around it and all the show aspect. And I worked with a guy called Gabriel Poirier-Galarneau. His company's called Champagne Club Sandwich, and he was the perfect person to work with, and we really had fun just like trying to do some crazy show and really have fun with it and go kind of all out, just push ourselves to go somewhere where we might have been like, it sounds a bit dumb, but like no, let's go, like sky's the limit on this one. So we've had a blast, and I've always loved everything about the performance aspect of my career. It's like one of my favorite things. It's where I feel the most at home is on stage. I love entertainers, not just music, but in any art form. Like I love being entertained, and I'm pretty ADHD too. So like I like pretty fast paced stuff and like things that really grab me. And I've just tried to use that as much as possible during our shows. And it's my favorite thing to do.
So the person from Champagne Club Sandwich, is that like a person that you're working with basically to like produce the show or like put it together?
He is like artistic director, basically. So we work together with like we have a lighting person who's going to do the conception of the lights and just like costumes and stuff. And like I worked with a friend of mine who did the last costumes. That is like a lycra glitter fringe thing. It's ridiculous. It's like a Power Rangers suit, but with fringe, basically. She's incredible, and her name's Geneviève Bouchard. She's a designer in Quebec, and she works with a lot of circus acts. And so she knows how clothes will work on a stage, and also for the lifetime of a tour, like how sturdy things need to be. And like, so it was really fun just going all sorts of art forms and learning so much about all of this was really, really fun and really inspiring to be kind of a part of. That's what I really wanted to happen.
Yeah, I feel like you need to do like your own eras tour, because I'm thinking back. I got to see the disco show, I think at ACMA's a few years ago. And then also on that 2012 show, it was banjos and cowboy hats and like Lone Ranger style shenanigans going on there.
Yeah.
And then now you're coming out with this symphonic album.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining you in like your ball gown era. What kind of pivot was it into the symphonic world, and like what inspired you to work with the symphony?
So we had the chance to do a symphony show, 4 symphony shows, Quebec, Montreal, and Ottawa last year. And we decided to make a record out of it because it was such an incredible experience. It's a once in a lifetime thing. So the whole idea of Chiac Disco, like our huge dream was like, I would love to play with a symphony with this. It's all the disco strings, and like there's so many possibilities with this. And like I'm a huge Lee Hazelwood fan. For those who don't know him, he's the one who produced Nancy Sinatra stuff, and he wrote These Boots Are Made for Walking. And he has like an aesthetic with symphonies that's really unique, and it's like a kind of a space cowboy thing. I'm in love with him, obsessed, and he was a huge influence on the whole symphony album. So when we did the record, we were like, well, imagine finishing the tour with symphony shows. And it ended up happening. And it was kind of like just the summum of like all these years of touring, and being able to do that was really amazing. Reworking old songs too was amazing. The arranger is a guy called Antoine Graton. He's done a lot of incredible arrangements with symphonies, and he's the one who did the string arrangements on Chiac Disco. So we worked with him. It was phenomenal to be able to do that, and what an experience.
The symphonic album, was that recorded in one show that you did?
Yeah, it was one show, and we were extremely stressed out.
No pressure at all, huh?
Yeah, we're like, we have one show, so good luck with that. And our drummer, I've never seen him so stressed out in his whole life. We did the album with with a drum, which already with a symphony can be extremely difficult, and like, cause the timings are not the same in like a pop drumming rock and roll thing than with a symphony. Like beats are not the same. You're not thinking about it the same way. It wasn't written to have a drum beat on it. So we were really lucky. Our conductor was incredible and he had really great time and had worked with pop shows like that before. So him and our drummer were really tight because everything was kind of relying on those two. So our drummer was sweating bullets and he did a great job.
Absolutely.
And it was awesome.
You mentioned earlier your folky roots, and that's, I feel like when I see you out in the real world, not necessarily on stage, but when I see you out in the real world, a lot of times it's at like folk events or down in Louisiana and two-stepping somewhere. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about some of those influences, your kind of trad journey there.
Yeah, and just to like put people in context, Rosalyn and I have met at Black Pot Camp in Louisiana in 2015. And we became fast friends and jammed a lot and two-stepped a lot. Yeah. So just so people know, like we're chummy right now. Like that's why we know each other.
We really know each other. Once you've two-stepped,
there's no going back from that. And since we're on the subject, like that's a good place to start is Black Pot Camp, which is a adult music camp basically for people who love Cajun music, dance, and food. That's the whole concept. It's in a campground in close to Lafayette, Louisiana, and a lot of people from all over the world go there to learn about these things. So you take workshops for 4 days, and then there's a festival that goes on for 3 days, and you're just camping and taking workshops. I know I took a lot of like banjo workshops and like Cajun songs where you were like really learning French Cajun songs, which is funny because I was one of the few like francophones there who was like, oh, I actually understand these lyrics. And it was really cool to like see other people from all over like phonetically learning French songs. It was really cool. So I feel like that world of like the workshopping and like the folkier stuff is like a huge love for me. And it's like, to me, it feels like the ultimate way of playing music and jamming and learning and just kind of chilling. To me, it's really different than from my touring and recording thing. Like the two feel pretty separate, but my ultimate love always, like I love both, but for me, like that kind of context where like you're just kind of like hanging out with each other and trying to learn tunes too, which is something I was really new to. Like I don't know the trad world that well. It's relatively new to me and I love it. I love the community and it's like there's something extremely welcoming and people really want to learn these new tunes and new ways of playing in different styles. And it's a very, if you don't know about it, there's no way, like you couldn't even imagine what this kind of community thing that also kind of follows each other too. Like I was in Ireland last year at a Baltimore Fiddle Fair, which is a really cool festival that a lot of people from that world were like, you have to go there. If you've been to Black Pot, you'll love this. And it was like, it's a small world. So I just really love that community. And it's like, I don't know, I like travel, like kind of look forward to trying to find those kinds of festivals now if I want to just go travel and hang out.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I never thought that would happen. Well, I'm like trying to find fiddle fairs. I'm like, what is this life? Like I didn't, like my family's like, what the hell are you like? You're going to a fiddle festival? Like you hated fiddle. So it's awesome. It's such a cool, like beautiful discovery.
Like John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, who's like also like secretly like a mandolin picker that shows up at bluegrass festivals all the time, and it's I wonder if there's some sort of like relief or release in it where that kind of music, like Cajun or old time and stuff like that, is like such a community, like communal music. So it's not like now it's your turn to do your thing and everyone's focused on you. It's like we're all communally just trying to make this groove and
and just playing too.
Yeah.
I think that's like my favorite thing. I've always been a jammer. I really love playing with other people. To me, that's like my favorite part of playing music. There's like the shows, and then there's the jamming with friends and meeting new people. And I guess I just kind of stumbled on this world that is exactly that. And to be in the background too, and like not taking the lead and just trying to like figure stuff out, trying to like follow. I really love it. I've been going to a lot of Irish trad jams in Moncton, and it's like it's opened up such a world of possibilities for me, and it's so fun to learn about. And it's also really cool to learn about the music from the East Coast, which I didn't really know that well. Like, I've become friends with Vishten, which we've known each other for a long time, but like more and more kind of hanging out, and they've opened up this huge world, and there are such encyclopedias of traditional Acadian music and also Irish and plenty of stuff. But it's been really interesting to kind of dive a little bit more into like, oh, this is the repertoire from like where I'm from, and I don't know this at all, and most people don't know this. I find it really, really cool, and like feel pretty passionate about it. It's like a new thing, and it's great.
Are there, like, for people who want to know more about Acadian trad, do you have festivals out there, or like those like fiddle fairs, as you call them?
Yeah, so I'm not like the expert. I know there's a Rollo Bay in PEI, the guys from the East Pointers do, which I haven't been yet, but looks really incredible. There's a really cool festival in PEI as well. PI has a huge trad community, and it's really beautiful. A lot of dancers, a lot of fiddlers, like really cool crew over there. It's called Route 11, and that one's a really fun one. It's more like food and music, and there's some really great bands going there. It's pretty awesome. And it's like, it's more French driven. And I mean, there's like my hometown of Rogersville. This is not trad, but there's an incredible bluegrass festival in Rogersville, which is known around the East Coast and in the US. A lot of people, like thousands of people go. It's in a field in Rogersville, and it's a huge thing. And I grew up with that right next to me. And when we went to the Bluegrass Festival, I hated bluegrass. I was more into rock and roll and stuff. And we went to just like go get drunk when we were teenagers, but never really listened to it much. But then when I left New Brunswick and started missing New Brunswick, that's kind of where I realized, oh my God, this is actually really cool, and started to go as an adult and really loving it and started to try to learn it a little bit. But there's some really, really cool stuff. I'm sure I'm going to think of other ones, but those are like really cool ones.
Yeah, it's so funny. The music that seeps into your subconsciousness when you're a teenager getting drunk is like, you know.
Oh, there's also Celtic Colors that I have not been to, and that's on my huge bucket list in Cape Breton.
Yes, absolutely. When you're talking about going to these different jams, what instruments are you playing?
Usually I bring my banjo or an acoustic guitar if I'm like just trying to survive, and hope to God there's someone who knows what they're doing, and like so I can just kind of follow them. I've been playing a lot of fiddle lately, and I'm learning it. And I'm not at the point of bringing it to a jam yet, but that's kind of my goal at one point. Those are the ones I try to bring. And with the 5-string, it's kind of fun because I can still play rhythm and just kind of like follow and kind of also practice some rolls and stuff at the same time. But sometimes if I can catch the melody and actually do it, then it's fun. But it's a kind of a cool in-betweener.
I feel like I need to apologize to anyone when they say that they're learning fiddle. I'm so sorry.
It's terrible.
So hard. It's the worst.
But like I'm obsessed. I can't stop. I don't see the time pass when I play fiddle, even if I'm terrible at it. But there's like the competitive part of me that's like, no, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah,
and like
don't give up.
I really like it, and it's like, especially for Cajun music, I think it's a really cool. I love the style. I love how there's like the simplicity to it, but it's so badass, and it's just like really gritty, and like I love it. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to learn.
Do you feel like that challenges you, or makes you maybe even like more appreciative? This is going to sound bad, but does it make you more appreciative of the stuff you're good at?
Oh God, yes. When I pick up a guitar after I play fiddle, I'm like, oh my God, I am a goddess. Which I'm not, but like I feel like, wow, like get out of the way. Like it's nice. It's nice to get a little like, oh, okay, cool. I don't suck that much. It's cool. It's nice. Yeah. It's a very humbling instrument, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. And it speaks to your character that you would be okay to be humbled by that instrument. In the way that like it's
So
hard
terrible.
for adults to learn something new, and there's always the saying with fiddle that like it's better if you're a kid. And I always say like, no, kids just don't care that they suck. Like adults care that they suck because they've heard
Mhm.
fiddle played well a bunch, so it's character building, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm curious to what kind of fiddling do you like? What's your
Oh, like
background?
literally everything that you just said.
Yeah,
Like
okay, cool.
Irish Czech, Cajun Czech, old time and bluegrass Czech.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, very similar. And that's why we keep seeing each other in all these places.
I
That's
know.
why we keep
That's
running
the
into
thing.
each other.
And it's awesome. And there's something cool that like I think there were a bunch of people who really want to learn new things too. And it's like I love like for sure next time I see you, I'm gonna like ask you about fiddle things. And like we're a bunch of friends that we just want to like if they have guitar questions, we're just a bunch of people who are like trying to like learn new things and like, okay, can you show me like this chord? And it's like it's so fun to do. Like I just love it.
Yeah, next time
Love it.
we're fiddle jam. It's gonna happen.
And I can try to teach you a banjo thing
Perfect.
or a
We
guitar
can torture
thing.
everyone around us. It'll be great.
Exactly. It'll be great.
I have a listener submitted question for you.
Hmm.
And it's something we haven't talked about yet. So, from our Instagram, how do you make the bilingual aspect of your music your superpower? I like the
Aw,
way that was
that's
written. That was
awesome.
nice.
That
Yeah.
is cool. I think it is a superpower. I think it's so fun to be able to kind of bounce between the two. I love writing in French. I love writing in English. It's fun because if I get tired of one, I can just kind of switch to the other and or whatever happens, like whatever kind of language is. The last one was fully in French and it was like I was in Moncton, it was COVID. I was like deep in like the Acadian, like I really wanted to use that language and it was really inspiring at that moment. It still is, but right now like I'm in a more like a English songwriting mood or both really, but it's just like it's fun when you're writing to be able to just kind of have these two toolboxes and both have brought me in really incredible places. Like the fact that I was able to do a French record and then go do an English record, it was funny because I was playing all these English communities or whatever, like touring all over me, Canada, US, Europe. And then there was like all the Frenchies were there, and it was like I couldn't have done those tours if I had only done it in French. We just wouldn't have gone to those venues. But then all of a sudden it opened up this whole thing and it was like I was doing an English record. People were talking to me about my French stuff and the English stuff. Like, hey, I learned some French because of your record, but I only knew of that record because of the English record. Those kinds of things are really cool. And I get that a lot when I'm in the US or like more Anglo-European countries. It's really cool.
Yeah. And you feel like your fans can kind of become bilingual themselves in that way where like no one's dropping you because she's made a French album or no one's dropping you because she made an English album.
No. And the beauty of like, I think I'm at a place where since I've done both, I can kind of do whatever I want at this point, which is really awesome. And people have been following me and it's really great. I have a really beautiful crowd. They're amazing and they're really loyal and they're the coolest. So I'm really lucky, really fortunate.
You're talking about having both languages in your toolkit. Do you approach using those tools in different ways for different types of songs or different types of vibes? Or is it just more haphazard than that? How intentional is it?
It's not very intentional. I think like with the disco album, it was a bit intentional because I was like, I don't see myself doing an English disco funk record. But if it's in Chiac, which is like my accent, Acadian, like Southern New Brunswick Acadian accent, that's very specific to that place. There's only one place in the world with that French accent. It felt so much more fun and like authentic to me. Like I was just really excited about it. And I was like, oh my God. And I love the phrasing and like how groovy Chiac can be. And it was just really fun. Like it felt more natural to me to do that. And for English, I mean, kind of depends, but we'll see. I'm like kind of half and half right now. I've got like 5 or 6 songs in French, 5 or 6 songs in English, and I can't really decide where I'm going with them. But
do you feel like you have to make an album in like either or?
I don't know. I like both. I feel like at one point it just kind of makes sense to me to go to one direction and then have extra, like, I'll have both on the record, but I don't know if I want to do like a full thing or like a half and half thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Time will tell.
I'm like in the thick of it, like really writing right now, actually. I'm in totally songwriting research mode, 100%. So everything is kind of possible.
What is research mode for you?
Like everything we were talking about, like I went back to Black Pot Camp this year. It was incredible. And it was like a different experience to like try, since I've starting to get a little bit more into like the trad stuff and starting to get it. It was really interesting and really fun to do. And just kind of like going to see shows in Louisiana and everywhere, really. Did like an artist residency last year in Newfoundland, which was phenomenal. We went to Corsica in the Mediterranean. It's like a French island, completely crazy for like 2 weeks and a half, like met amazing people. So we've been like doing a lot of like residencies all over, and that's been really inspiring. And I really like traditional music from wherever. In general, I think that's something that always comes back to me. I love hearing what people played in different places, and that's what I want to hear if I'm traveling. So it's the same for Ireland. And the kind of research, it also just kind of like reading books about songwriting, reading bios, listening to a lot of stuff and trying to listen and like read lyrics at the same time, poetry, whatever. Just all of that is it's the research part. Yeah. And collaborating with other people.
Do you have any favorite books or like books that were particularly inspiring?
The Rick Rubin book is incredible. Can't recommend it enough. I got Joni Mitchell's book. It's really cool. It's like her drawings and all her notebooks, but like all her lyrics from, I don't know, like the 60s and stuff. And it's like a really beautiful book. And it's fun to just kind of look at her lyrics. And same with Leonard Cohen too, as like some cool ones. Obviously, he's not so bad. And yeah, like I'm like looking at like my books right now, like whatever talks about songwriting and just reading other people's songs and really listening to how things are crafted. You
were talking about reading, really diving into lyrics. Are there particular lyricists that get you? I really like in French, there's Fred Fortin. He's an artist that I really, really love. And I think he's one of my favorite songwriters in French. Well, he is my favorite songwriter in French. I think he writes the coolest lyrics. I really love his style. Redove into Kurt Weill lately, and I forgot how great his lyrics are and just like good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think why I ask is that like I feel like you have a very unique way of writing lyrics. First of all, like I love your use of language, but there's also like such a relatability, I want to say, to what you write, you know? Is this all just Lisa, or was it an intentional, like, I like the way that somebody does this and I want to do it? Or is it just all coming just straight from the heart and brain? It's a bit of both, I think. Like, there are so many different influences that, like, I steal from everyone, like all artists do, you know, just like taking little. And I think in a song, there's always like 15 direct influences that go like in a riff, in a lyric, in whatever you always like find. And I don't know, it's just, I really like talking about day-to-day stuff. That's what inspires me, is like conversations, just kind of like things that pop in my head. I like the quirkier side too. Like I really like it when there's a little twist where it kind of makes you laugh and it kind of takes away a bit of the drama of something that could be really dark or just very serious. I love having a few twists to it. To me, that's just kind of how I prefer communicating too. It's sort of like I've always used humor as a bit of a shield, or like a bit of a way to help communicating things that could be a little like difficult to talk about or whatever. It's just kind of what I really like using for, it always comes back. So you're mentioning that you're in this like writing process right now. What do you have coming up? Are you working towards a specific project? Yeah, I'm writing an album right now. Like I was saying, it's kind of like English and French. I don't know yet. It's folkier.
definitely. A lot of the trad stuff that we were talking about is kind of creeping in. I think the whole me playing fiddle, it's gonna happen. My goal with it is to play it with shows and to, like, I wrote a song with the fiddle, which is usually how I like keep playing an instrument, is if I don't have a choice to play it live or in the studio. So, and my goal is to write another one on the fiddle, and I'd love to collaborate with other people. I have like a wish list of people that I want to work with. It's been fun to like write with other people too lately. Like musically, that's kind of what I've been doing for the last year. Kind of been exploring. I love starting by myself with just like a little riff, but then bringing it to other people to just kind of like brainstorm it, because I can stick on something for weeks and nothing will happen except me being depressed because nothing is advancing. So that's kind of how I love having at least another person there. So that's kind of what's happening right now. Just doing a lot of jamming with people that I admire.
I'll speak for all of us listening right now that we're very excited to hear what comes out of it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm liking the direction. I'm having fun with it. I was a bit in like a gray area for a really long time. Wasn't really sure where it was going and was kind of stressed out about it, which is just me writing, which is like probably the least zen that I am ever is when I'm writing. I'm much more of a performer than a recording artist, which I've done. It's fun, but it's another world completely. But I feel like something's clicking now, and I'm liking where it's going, and I feel like it's going to be cool.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. Lisa, it's been so wonderful to chat with you. I really appreciate you coming here for a conversation.
Thanks so much for having me. This was great. I love ending up talking about trad for a while, and it's not, I never get to talk about that, and it's kind of like a different thing where it's like it's not in like my shows or anything, so it's cool to be able to talk about it because it's been a huge part of my life in the last couple of years, so it's fun to be able to get it all out.
Well, thanks for sharing it with us, and I'll see you at a fiddle fair somewhere down the line.
I hope so. It'd be great.
That's all for this episode, friends. The Refocus podcast is an original production by Folk Canada. Find out more by heading to folkcanada.com/refocus. That's REFOLKUS. The podcast is produced by Kayla Nizon and Rosalyn Dennett and mixed by Jordan Moore at the Pod Cabin. The opening theme is written and performed by King Cardiac, and the artwork is by Jamie Karn. Please give us a download, subscribe, rate, and review to let us know you care, and follow us at folk_Canada on Instagram to submit your questions.